Hi everybody, welcome to Lego Lounge with Miss Sara from Georgina Public Library. Today we are going to have some fun with floating and sinking. We previously did the float test on Lego Lounge where we tried to build items that we put into a big tub of water to see if they would sink and float. This time we're going to change it up a little bit and we're going to test the properties of different compounds in water. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take some minifigures, some heads, some bodies, etc., and we're going to see if they sink or they float. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water to my container. Just clear water, nothing in it, and I'm going to put in my body parts. Okay, immediately we can see some items sinking and some items floating. And to make it a little bit more fun, let's see what happens if we add a little bit of oil. Nothing really, it just makes things a little bit greasy, a little bit oily. No change, not really. Some things are floating. Okay, what happens if I add a denture cleanser tablet? Gives it some effervescence. I'll add another one. I'll add a third one. Things are moving around just a little bit, but it's not really having any effect whatsoever on the items that were floating at the top. Let's examine what is in this container. We have water, we have a little bit of oil, and we have a denture cleanser tablet that contains sodium bicarbonate and other sodium compounds. Another word for sodium is salt. So one of the properties of salt in water is that salt and water, such as the ocean, make things more buoyant, or in other words, they float more easily. One of the reasons that we have some of the pieces still floating on the top is probably because there is air trapped inside the little hole. So one of the things that we can do to try to make it sink is to turn it around, turn it upside down, try to get the air out and then filled with water. And there you see it will sink down to the bottom because it has no more air trapped in it, and air will make something float easier. So one of the fun things that you can do with adult supervision, of course, and always, is the next time you're having a bath and you're lying down flat, is to take a deep breath and hold it in and put more air into your lungs and see if you actually rise to the top, and then let that breath out and see if you sink to the bottom. And don't forget, always with adult or grown-up supervision, okay? Just to be safe. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to see the different ways or different properties of water, straight water, versus salt water. In this next shot, you can see that we have twirled it and stirred it, and I've pushed body parts down to the bottom to try to release the air that was trapped inside, and now everything is actually floating on the bottom. And now for our final piece of the experiment is to see if we can make the body parts in this container float by adding salt water and more salt, and see if we can get them to float to the top. Well, I think that you'll agree with me that definitely salt water makes for more buoyancy than just plain water. And the concentration of the salt in this container was way more than the concentration of the salt that we got from our denture cleanser tablet. And if we continue to add salt to this, then I'm sure that we can get most of the body parts to float right to the top. So I'm going to continue adding more salt to this to see how much salt I really need to get everything to float at the top. And I hope that you try this experiment at home and see how much salt it takes for you to get your items to float to the top. But in the meantime, I'm going to carry on and have some fun, and I will see you next time on Lego Lounge.